And we are back live again on the Dirty and Driven Podcast. My name is James Deviney. I am your host on this fine episode. This is the show where we bring people to the blue-collar world, teach them how to kick ass. Our mission here is to gain, train, retain solid, hard-working people in the blue-collar construction trades and to entertain y'all while we do it. We got another high-octane episode coming at you today. Before we get to that, I want to introduce to you the man in a new hat. We never thought we'd see the day come. The man who dragged us into the studio at 2 a.m. this morning so we could record this show. The man who's been shipping gasoline and diesel across the country for you to put into your cars. Some call him the maintenance man. Some call him Johnny Sins Sr., some call him the talented Casey D.
How are you?
What's going on, man?
Glad to be here bright and early, man.
Oh, yeah.
Glad you can make it, too.
Dark and early. Yeah, dude, it's the earliest I think we've recorded.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Get stuff knocked out early, man, and then go about your day.
Yeah. I usually, Saturdays are reserved for sleeping in, but I don't mind podcasting early.
Yeah. It's not 2:30, it's 05:30, or it was.
It was. We recorded a whole podcast without recording before.
Now it's 06:15, so.
Yeah, we've been bullshitting for an hour, so that's fine. Man, that picture you held up to the camera at the very beginning of this episode, that was done a while back by friend of the show, Philip Teufel.
Beefy.
Yeah.
That's over a year ago, man.
Yeah, dude. That's the guy that sounds like H. John Benjamin. Sounds like Archer in here. No, dude, that's a cool picture. I still need to get that framed.
He's a good cat. We need to get him back on.
Yeah, we've offered. He just hadn't been in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, I don't know where I'm going. What am I about to say? I don't know what I was about to say. I had a thought and I lost it. So that sets the tone. Anyways, dude, you like my jersey here? Shirt I'm wearing?
Yeah, I complimented it early, man. That's like super professionally done.
Yeah, dude. This is the Oklahoma State Rugby jersey. And look at that. Dirty and Driven Athletics on there, baby.
Yeah. It didn't look like one of them cheap-ass ironed-on.
No, these were really high-end jerseys. I mean, this is what I'm going to a rugby game up there today, and I mean, these are the jerseys they wear. So, are
you playing rugby, or are you just spectating rugby?
I'm just spectating.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not playing. No, I'm just going to a game. No, I'm excited. They've been wearing these for a few months now, but I haven't made it up to a game yet. So I'll be excited to get some content with them. All, got all the stuff on there.
So is that the only Dirty and Driven rugby shirt, or all of them that way?
No, they're all like this.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like
the OSU rugby team is going to be wearing this same jersey. This is one of their jerseys that they mailed me. Like, this is not a custom, like
one off.
Yeah. This is all of them have this.
Yeah. I remember during our board meeting, we talked about getting the Dirty and Driven on the rugby shirts. I remember us talking about that now.
Yeah. During the executive board meetings. Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to this because that's exciting. So seriously, the Dirty and Driven logo is on OSU's rugby team jerseys.
Yeah. No, they needed new jerseys, and I sponsored them. And we, Dirty and Driven sponsored them, and it was I mean, that's what they did. So rugby is a little different because you'll actually see this even in professional rugby. Their top sponsors are on their jersey, so you can see like
Right.
So here were the sponsors. Like I was the biggest sponsor, or we were the biggest sponsors, so we got to choose where we wanted it. And at first they were gonna put like a giant one on the stomach, and I was like, as cool as that would be,
Yeah.
I don't want to make this all about us. You know what I mean? Like don't make us the biggest focus. So they put the Dirty and Driven on the chest like that, right next to the crest, and then on the sleeve you see this blue from Old School.
Yeah.
That's the
That's great.
Yeah, the Oklahoma State rugby alumni.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yeah, so that's the mascot for the alumni. So there was a group of alumni that sponsored, and they got the sleeves, and then there's like some, I don't know, there's some other sponsors on the back.
Stand up, turn around, let's see it.
Yeah.
State barbell. That's cool. Kind of like an old bone hand. And what was that bottom one?
The bottom one was the
Like a walrus or something?
Was the Oklahoma State Walruses, and that was so there used to be like we still, or I say we, I'm not involved in it at all other than the Alumni Association, but the rugby team used to have a sevens team in the summer. So rugby is different because you might play 15s, or there's 10s and there's 7s, but 15s is like the main, that's a full length game. That's 15 players on each side. It's 2 40-minute halves.
All right.
And then 7s is like, they'll have 7s tournaments. That's what you see in the Olympics. It's 2 7-minute halves, and you'll have 7 players on the field. So it's totally different style of play. And then that was always the summer 7s team because the school wouldn't let you use Oklahoma State for the summer 7s because it wasn't a school sanctioned kind of deal. So it was always like, all right, we'll branch off and we'll do our own thing. So it was always the OSU Walruses. So that was another group of alumni that came out and said like the blue, that was, I think, the Alumni Association. I think that we donated to that from the Alumni Association funds. And then the Walruses, that was like a group of guys who had played and graduated, in like the 80s and 90s who pitched in and got the logo there. And then State Barbell, I don't know what that is, but I think it's
We must have had some pretty damn good stroke for our logo to be just as big, if not bigger, than the official OSU logo.
Well, like I said, they wanted to just put a giant one on the stomach. And I was like, that'd be badass. But I mean, I don't want to make this all about us. Like I want the main focus to be the OSU RFC crest.
So is this the official OSU team? I'm still trying to, or is this
Yes,
just
this is the official OSU team. I mean, obviously it's not as big as fucking OSU football.
No, I'm learning. I'm not being a dick.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
But, so they will travel.
Yeah.
But they can travel with sponsorships on their shirts.
Yeah, the school doesn't fund it.
But
The school gives them like $700 a year.
I get that, but let's say OSU football or OU football. They can't have Dirty and Driven on their shirts traveling around or.
Well, I don't think they need to because their sponsors are silent. You know what I mean?
I know, but I think there's probably some rule in place saying you can't be having sponsorships all over your shirts traveling.
No, that's how rugby is, dude. I mean, because the rugby's not funded by the school.
Right.
Like it's a club team. You still go. Like, I mean, I played K-State, KU, Iowa State.
And they have sponsors all over their shirts?
Some of them.
Really?
Some of them. You play all these teams, and they don't have a lot of money. Like, that's why myself and a couple other individuals that had graduated from OSU and played rugby, we started an alumni association last year, and I've been heavily involved in getting that going. And that's to fund the team, really, just to get, alumni more connected and get money in, because the school gives like $700 a year. Well, shit, you use that your first away game on gas and hotels, and I mean, it's not a luxurious sport, if you know what I mean. Like, you're not traveling on the team bus to go play, but I mean, it's fun.
That's kick ass, man.
Yeah. No, it's cool, and it's cool to see them repping our logo on their jerseys and everything, and I mean, it really makes me happy. Like, I posted a deal the other day that was like just kind of different places our logo's at, shirts, stickers, where people have put their stuff, all that. And like, this was on there on that little reel I posted. And it's just cool. you know, it's neat to see on there, and I'm happy to be a small part of them being able to get new jerseys. Because, I mean, whenever you're running a club that big with that many people, and you've got to get because each one of these jerseys cost almost $100.
Yeah, ain't
you
cheap.
know, I mean, even whenever you're ordering 30 or 40 of them, they're expensive. And like I tried to do that whenever I was still kind of running the club, and we just didn't have the money, couldn't hardly get the money, and so I was the first one whenever they said we need money. I was like, they're like, we're gonna put sponsorship logos on here. I said, bucket, let's go. I was gonna buy shorts that had our logo on it, and then they were like, well, we're gonna do jerseys and we'll just put the logos on there. I was like, hell yeah, here's a check, put my logo right there front and center, let's go.
You got my jersey?
I'll have to see if they got some extras. If so, I'll get you one.
I didn't know if they'd let outsiders
Well,
or sponsorship
they sent
people.
one. I tried to get a couple because I had a couple of our followers reach out too that were like, dude, hell yeah, I want a rugby jersey with the Dirty and Driven logo on it. And whenever I'm down there today, I'll see if there's any extras.
Yeah, those are sweet, man.
Yeah.
And that's a word to the wise people. Whenever you have a business or a partnership together like James and I do, be sure that you both are aware of the books and where the money goes, because I should have been looking at the books and known that our sponsorship was going towards the rugby shirts.
The books, my personal bank account. Casey's like, I need the login. Give me the login.
Your 5 and 2 is what we call it out at work whenever you're logging in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last 5 letters of your name, then the first 2 letters of your first name.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me your bank account login. I need to know. Yeah.
So during rugby, what do you say you have 15 as a standard or 14?
15 on each team, yeah.
And then 7. Then you said 7.
Well, there's different games. So
Okay.
like there's rugby, like main traditional rugby is 15 on each side.
Right.
And then that's 2 40-minute halves,
Right.
80 minutes long, kind of like soccer in a sense. And then, you know, all that. That's a little slower paced. You know, bigger, you know, you got
Right.
big guys. That's where you see the big scrums where everybody's locking arms and fighting it out, you know. And then there's 7s, and that's where you'll see tournaments because those are only 15-minute games and there's 7 people on each team. And that's a totally different game. And that's usually your faster, more agile people playing.
Well, the reason why I asked, I was wondering if it's kind of like either 8-man football or remember the girls' basketball to where it'd be like 4-on-4 or something to where they would play, but only so many could go. Like they'd have to stop at half court while the other ones went. But then when they came back, then they could be active.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Oh, really? It is?
Well, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't know how 7s got started. I mean, it is more fun to watch because it's still the full field,
Right.
But it's just so much faster. But that's why it's got so big in the Olympics because it's just crazy, and it's only 15-minute games, so you
Right.
can play a bunch of games in a small amount of time. So those tournaments, you might go and play 10 games in a day, and it's really fun. And you know, just people fast,
Yeah.
skilled,
Yeah.
people, and then
It's not a marathon.
yeah, it's a sprint.
Yeah.
Whereas a full length game, that's a marathon, dude.
Yeah.
You got to have endurance.
Yeah. Pace yourself.
Yeah, and but anyways, like you'll see a lot of women's teams because rugby is a fast growing sport, and a lot of guys are getting into it, and like you can field a team of dudes pretty easy at a lot of these places. But like the girls always struggled whenever I was in college. They had started the club. They had one back in like the 80s, and it kind of disbanded, kind of up and down, up and down. Well, you know, my wife and a few other of the girls that were playing back then, they started a new team, and then they could only get 12 players, so they just played 7s, and that's what a lot of girls teams do is they don't have enough people, so they just play 7s, and they'll play 2 or 3 games against whatever team, and then kind of best 2 out of 3 on those 7s games, and they move on.
And do they tackle each other?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, women's rugby is rough, man. Like, watch it next time the Olympics comes on. Watch women's rugby in the Olympics was way more fun to watch than the men's.
I'll be damned.
Dude, they beat the shit out of each other. Like it is funny though, like the first time you really see him, Victoria got flattened in a rugby game. She had to go to the hospital because she like sprained her neck. It was kind of scary. This big old butch of a woman runs her over. I mean, I'm talking this girl, she was built like a refrigerator with a head, dude. I mean, whole lot of Rosie, man. She trucks this lady. She trucks my wife. My wife tries to tackle her.
This old hag.
this little washout. She just got her ass ran over. Like, they had to call an ambulance on the field. It was pretty scary and take her off.
For Victoria?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
A junior year of college. So 5 years ago. Something like that. 5 or 6 years ago. And yeah, dude, she got flattened. And she went to the ER. You know, they were afraid that she broke her neck. And then she had to wear a neck brace for, you know, like a week or two.
That's why when you go in, you got to tackle with your head up and your head to the side. You don't.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know how she did it.
She should have been wearing a cowboy collar.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Cowboy collar.
Whenever you wear the football pads, they used to have cowboy collars.
Oh,
big neck rings, you know, on the back.
Yeah. No, dude, you don't wear any pads in rugby. You can wear a scrum cap, but you talk about a head condom, dude. You look like a a penis, man. Yeah. I never could get into the scrum cap.
Look like who is it, Jim Thorpe, the old picture of him?
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah. I don't know why he was wearing a scrum cap. I think Jim Thorpe might have played rugby, but yeah, dude, it's just like those old school football helmets. You know, a lot of you see a few guys wearing them, but most people won't. You mainly just wear a mouthpiece. Yeah,
you'd have to tackle and do things a lot different when you don't have pads protecting yourself.
Yeah, the hits aren't as hard, and that's why I was a better rugby player because I had really good endurance. And I was way better at rugby than I was football because I had good endurance. And then, like, I could run the ball and not just get absolutely laid out. I mean, now, believe me, I've got some hard hits and I got a couple concussions from it. I mean, you know, it's still hard, but the play doesn't stop. So it's good to not just go all out every single tackle. Because if you go all out and just try to kill that dude every single time you tackle him, you're going to get so tired so fast.
Well, not having pads on, too, is kind of the same as... Have you watched that bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the same kind of concept, too. Since their hands aren't protected by gloves and stuff, they have to hit totally different or they'd be breaking their hand every time they're punching. So it's a totally, like, different tactic.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, bare knuckle boxing, you don't want to hit somebody in the face too much because you'll hurt yourself.
If you strike right, man. But you'll just slice people open. Speaking of, which... When the podcast comes out, it'll already happen. But that Mike Perry, he's like the big bear. He's an ex-UFC guy. Mm-hmm. He's like the bare knuckle stud. He's mowing through everybody. But he's got to fight. He just fought Thiago Alves, which he's an ex-UFC guy too.
You know who used to be a bare knuckle boxer?
Who?
A president.
Oh,
Teddy Roosevelt.
I was going to say Abe Lincoln, but he was a wrestler.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, not a professional wrestler either. Coming in off the top rope with the top hat.
Yeah, top. What would Abe Lincoln's wrestling name be?
I don't know, but he'd have a finishing move, and the finishing move would probably, right before he'd get ready to take the guy down, he'd probably take his top hat off and pull like a rabbit out. He'd have a bag of tricks in his top hat.
Do you think that he'd be like the Emancipator?
Well, what was that movie with Abe Lincoln, the killer?
Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer or something like that?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
The Vampire Slayer.
He had an altar.
I never did see that movie. I don't know that I ever cared to.
I vaguely remember it. It was cool, but I vaguely remember it.
I'm reading a book right now about Frederick Douglass, and obviously it has a lot of talk about Abe Lincoln because it's kind of the same time period and all that. Pretty interesting president. It's interesting to see his... everybody knows him as the guy that, abolished slavery and stuff, but it was very interesting to read about Abe Lincoln from the perspective of a black abolitionist. I won't get into that. It's a boring topic, but it's just different.
Are you saying, hey, Blinken?
Hey, Blinken? Did you say Abe Lincoln? I said, no, I said, hey, Blinken.
No, man, I said, hey, Blinken.
Yeah, that's, anyways. But yeah, Teddy Roosevelt was a bare knuckle boxer. And also, he saved American football. They were trying to outlaw American football, and Teddy Roosevelt was one of the leading people to save football.
But he wasn't the wheelchair-bound Roosevelt, was he? That was FDR.
That was FDR.
Yeah.
Two different Roosevelts.
Yeah.
FDR is probably not very popular among our listeners.
I like the acronyms for people.
Yeah.
Like MTG.
Who's MTG?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
MGK. AOC.
Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly.
And what's the conference that you go to every year down in Oklahoma City? The AOC?
The OAPA?
No, the AOC.
Oh, the AOGC?
Yeah. It sounds like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but it's for the state of Oklahoma construction.
Yeah, it's for construction. Well, the AOGC is a national deal.
Oh, it is?
Big ass.
Oh,
well, the AOGC, most of them just the AGC, Association of General Contractors.
So what does O stand for?
But the Oklahoma decided to separate themselves to put the Oklahoma.
Yeah, so I was kind of right.
You were kind of right.
Yeah.
But it's still,
And they were inspired with the acronym from
AOC.
AOC,
Definitely. That was definitely where they got it. Sorry, Bobby, if you heard that.
He's like, son of a bitch. He clears off all the bottles on his table.
God damn it, Bobby. Sorry, I thought of a
Come on, Bobby.
different Bobbies. Oh, dude. Hey, guys, if you like the show today, be sure to share it. I know that we've just rambled on about all sorts of stuff, but we're having fun. We're having a good time. And share the show. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Give us a share whenever we post things about it. I don't think you'll lose your job if you do. They say, rumor has it that there's people that have been fired from liking and sharing the Dirty and Driven podcast. They say we're too edgy, and they're a fan of it and they support it. And the liberal left-wing employers pushed by Big Pharma come out and they say that you cannot work for this company if you support the Dirty and Driven podcast. And so that really scares a lot of people from not liking and sharing our stuff. So if you're there and if you're just a pansy and you're afraid of your employer and the deep state coming after you, then maybe you shouldn't like it. But if you're a strong, freedom-loving American, maybe you should give it a like and a share.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when there's family and friends that will like this or that or whatever, left, right. But boy, once you share the Dirty and Driven podcast, boy, it's crickets.
Oh, yeah, dude. If I post a picture of myself standing on a bar playing bass in a fucking smoky dive bar, it's like I'll get more likes than I've ever gotten. Just be like, man, I love playing music. Like, oh, yeah, I love that you're doing what you love, blah, blah, blah. But I'll post something that is me speaking of value or something smart or even something funny, and people are like, what the hell? It's like,
dude, the fucking crickets, man.
Yeah. It's like, hold up. It's like, wait.
You know what it is? Whenever we post, hey, share this recent podcast, check this recent podcast. It's kind of like, when everyone's hanging out at the bar, bullshitting, having a good time, the music's playing, but then that one outsider walks through the saloon doors and you hear the record scratch.
Yeah.
And it gets completely quiet.
Yeah.
That's what happens with people sharing the show or commenting or liking.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Dude, we got to do that, man. We got to take like our Dirty and Driven logo and, have the bar scene like that with everybody bullshitting, the jukebox in the background playing. But then you see the Dirty and Driven logo come through the saloon doors. Right once it comes through the saloon doors, you hear the record just scratch and it stops, and everybody just look up.
The dozer, it just dozes through the doors and it just spits into the spittoon.
You actually had spit come out there. That was
I did.
Sweet.
Yeah, I did. I didn't mean to, but that's what we need in our studio is a spittoon.
What? A what?
A spittoon.
What's that?
What's a spittoon?
Yeah.
Like whenever they walk in, they just ding.
That's
they used
what
to
it's
have
called?
them. They used to have them at the bars and whatnot. Guys would spit their tobacco in it and stuff. Big spittoon fan.
Yeah, we got guys at work that'll spit in the damn trash cans. It's nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Then we used to have this one asshole that would spit in the urinal at work.
Dude, I guess a big thing now is I was talking to a guy who's a janitor the other day at like a college, and he's like, dude, the worst thing in the world is Zyn pouches. People just spit those in the urinals, and then he's got to clean them out.
Dude, I heard a story the night before at work, man. This is, I got to share it. I'm connected with the refinery guys at work.
Yeah.
And they had me over to eat the other night, and we all were bullshitting, and the side talk went to talking about dropping the log in the old toilet,
Oh, yeah.
Well, supposedly there was a contractor at work. I don't know, it's 5-10 years ago. I can make up a number, but next thing you know, there would be a log, a big old log that was in the urinal.
Yeah. Oh, no. Somebody's shitting in the urinal?
Yeah, in the urinal. Then people, be like, maybe it was a one-off, maybe somebody, whatever. Then a few months later or a few days later, there'd be a log in a different urinal.
Oh, no.
So you had like a habitual, like a serial logger,
Oh, serial logger.
And not only that, then next thing you know, fortunately, the person had went to the toilet, but instead of, hitting inside the toilet, it was sprayed behind the toilet on the back wall. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't, like a thick consistency. It was more like a spray.
Ew.
So it got so bad that the cleaning people, they when this initially happened and stuff, they're like, no, we are not. That's like hazmat. I mean, when it comes to, we are not touching that log in the urinal. So their boss had to come out and literally get it out because the workers that are getting paid probably minimum wage, they weren't touching that whatsoever.
Yeah, why would you?
So the basically one of the head guys for the refinery got involved, and they started going to literally surveillance camera, and they looked at when this certain individual signed in and out, and they pinned it down to this one guy, and they gave him the old heave ho, man.
Dude, what is it with people messing up toilets at work? So we had that happen one day. Brand new bathrooms, newly redone. Well, actually, I'm going to go back. So in the old bathrooms, there was somebody that went in and dropped some massive logs. They did this 3 times, and they would clog the toilet. There was plungers there, not try to unclog it. They'd try to flush and it wouldn't go down. Or I don't even think they tried to flush. There was one time they just, flush it and leave. They would just take a shit in the toilet and just leave it. And every single time the owner of the company was the guy to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Every time it's like, geez, man. And so he would always come out pissed and mad. And he's like, I've unclogged that toilet 3 times. And it is pissing me off. And then like on the 3rd time, it was so bad. It was so clogged. We had to call a plumber to come and like freaking drill the freaking line, like put a snake drill in there and just, really get it out. I mean, it was stuck. And it was like, what the hell is going on? So, there were some choice words for everybody involved. And especially, I hate to say it, but some of the blue collar people in the office, they were like, what the fuck, guys? And then the bathrooms get newly redone, and somebody like went in there, and I mean, they just totally missed. It was like on the back of the like the seat where it folds up. It was on the back of that on the seat. They flushed, but they just like left remnants, and it was like, how do you do that? First of all, like, is that just like a photo finish and you lost?
I've had a few instances to where by the time you got in there and you got the britches down, yeah.
Yeah, I think, all right, but maybe you lost the photo finish, but you don't leave it.
No, that's it. You try to clean up after yourself.
Yeah, and I don't want the embarrassment. So we get this email to every guy in the office that just says, if you guys do not fucking do better, we're literally going to put magnet locks on the bathroom, and you will have a badge to get in and out. And if we find out you did it, you are losing access to the bathroom. And you'll have to go to the gas station, or you'll have to go to the shop in the back.
Well, I told you about that one time that your mom's renter that had that had the log issue.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that on air?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just to recap real quick, he called with a problem, sewer problem, sewer drain, sewer was
back
clogged.
up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you think that the sewer, when you get a call that the sewer's clogged, you think that there's a blockage in the main line or somewhere that's backing up, right? Well, I end up reaching out to this guy like at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night. So what's going on? Yeah, dude. So no, the kitchen sink works fine. It drains. Oh, so the kitchen sink isn't backing up. Okay. And I'm trying to get, a picture of what's going on over the phone. So what about the bathtub? Yeah, the bathtub shower, it drains good too. So what? It's just the toilet. Okay, so does the toilet flush and it's back? He goes, no, the toilet won't flush at all. And I was like, well, okay, so what? Hey, so what happened? I mean, well, to be honest with you, I pooped, and it was a really good one, and it won't go down. I was like, okay, so you're all right, dude. All right.
So he calls the landlord and says, "I need a maintenance guy here because I can't flush my shit down."
He needs the sewer line snaked. Well, it ends up it was just a turd that had clogged the toilet. So I'm talking with him, and I go, do you have a plunger? You know? And he's like, and I could talk to this guy just straight up because I kind of know him. And he's like, well, yeah, and I've tried plunging it. It won't go down. Okay, man. So you want me to, because right now it is probably 8 o'clock by then. So you want me to, yeah, dude, I mean, I need to use this toilet. Dude, I'm going to tell you, if I show up, for one, it's going to cost. I'm just not going to come tonight. So it's going to cost some money. And if I show up, I'm just going to do exactly what you're going to do. I'm just going to try plunging this thing to get it through. Mm-hmm. So it's going to cost some money. So, well, yeah, I mean, no, okay, here's the deal.
Remember, he was about to get a hotel room.
Yeah. So here's the deal, man. You know your poop schedule, man, right? Well, yeah. Okay. I'm not asking you your poop schedule, but is it usually, if you might do it in the morning, then maybe at night. You might be, I can be there tomorrow morning. if it hasn't gone down yet. Well, I've been contemplating whether I need to get a hotel room. I go, nah, dude, you don't need to get a hotel room, dude. You know your schedule. And if you need to piss, you're a dude, you can go outside behind a tree. So that's taken care of. But you know your poop schedule. And if it gets that bad, if it hits you at 2 a.m, I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe go to a gas station. Can you at least do that just for another 12 hours? I'll be there first thing in the morning. Man, I guess I could. I still in between you don't need a hotel room, dude. You know well, sure enough, the next morning I talk with him and he ends up sending me a text and he lets me know that fortunately it broke down good enough that it was able to get through the toilet.
Yeah, dude. And then I had another one. It's a girl that owns a construction company here in town, and I was talking to her and she goes, "James, I need some advice on something." I was like, "What's that?" And she goes, "I don't know how to bring this up, but we've got a guy and we know who it is. We know who's doing it." Because the odds are whenever stuff like that happens, 9 out of 10 chance you know who it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have your suspects.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't prove it, obviously, but you have your suspects.
They have that look, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know who's sloppy enough to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or who's eating, fucking Mountain Dew and Cheetos only diet. And she goes, yeah. She goes, where we work, because they do manufacturing and construction. They pre-build stuff and then they'll go and install it, and cabinets.
You're talking about Lowe's. Keep going.
No, not Lowe's. But she goes, we have a serious problem going on at our shop right now, and like, I don't know how to address it. And I was like, what? And she goes, well, there's a dude who keeps coming in, and it's like every single day he'll shit and he'll get it on the back of the toilet. And my buddy, who's the city inspector, goes, "Oh, is he doing like an old upper decker?" And she's like, no. She's like, "But I don't know how to," she's like, "We don't know how to talk to him about it." And I was like, well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't talk to him about it. Cause I was like, "Do you use the same bathroom as him?" She goes, "No, I have, there's a men's and a women's bathroom." Okay, well, don't worry about that then. Don't worry about you bringing it up. But I was like, you need to have like her husband, he's there too. And he works in the field. He's over all the guys. I was like, why don't you have your husband bring it up? She goes, well, he's just too nice. He doesn't know how to bring that up either. I was like, she's like, can I hire you to come and like have a conversation? Because I was like, we literally just had this deal at work happen where it was like, we're going to put magnet locks on the bathroom and you're going to sign in and out kind of thing. And I was like, believe me, I've been down this road before of dudes, shitting on the toilet. And she's like, would you come and talk? I was like, yeah, there you go. That's it. Dirty and Driven Consulting. We'll fix your shit.
Dude, I'd do it in a heartbeat, man.
I said, yeah. I said, honestly, if you pay me, I will come and talk to this guy. I was like, but this is what you need to do. I said, or what you need to do is take a picture of a clean toilet that's flushed and put a check mark next to it and hang it on the stall, and then take another picture of every time he shits on the back of it like that, and print it out and put an X next to it and tape that up. And I said, just do some very passive aggressive signs in the bathroom, and that's the best way to take care of that.
When I was talking with those guys the other night about the serial logger, the guy that was shitting in the urinals.
Yeah.
I said, boy, I could see them like doing, it'd be like, another 48 or whatever. Whereas like CSI type of dragnet, they're trying to like hone in on the guy that's doing the serial shitting. Mm-hmm. And they'd have probably like the big poster on the wall with the thumbtacks and, the string, between here and there, and trying to narrow it down like it's a big crime deal.
Yeah. I don't know why would you shit in a urinal?
Unless if, the stall was being used and it was a last second something.
It's like you were trying to get fired.
Yeah.
Like, this is my final FU.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Peter Griffin walking out whenever he gets fired from the brewery. He's like, Angela, I just want to say that I really appreciate my time. He's like, this is just like whenever I stormed out of the office. He's like, Angela, I just wanted to say I really appreciated my time here. Many years of a good job and blah, 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 blah. And also there's a big steaming poo on your desk.
So you know what an upper decker is, right?
Yes, I know what an upper decker is.
What is it?
That's whenever you shit in the tank.
Yeah.
So whenever you flush, it just comes out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about poop,
hold on.
man.
Hold on. I got one more for you. I know this is poop centric, whatever it's called. You know what a dry dock is? Dry docking?
No.
Dry docking is where you close the shutoff, the shutoff valve to the toilet.
Oh yeah.
You flush the water to where it gets literally out of the toilet to where there's no water in the toilet basin itself to where it's dry. You turn around and you face the back of the toilet. You heave ho and you drop the log on the dry part of the toilet right there.
Oh.
So then when the next person comes in, they're like, what the heck? They go to flush it. It ain't going to flush. So then they got to get down on their hands and knees to turn the stop open to get and they're right there by the old log that's probably like caked in, like baked into the porcelain.
Oh yeah.
That's a dry dock.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dude, that happened. That same girl that was telling me about that, she was telling me that they had a rent house and they had finally gotten rid of this like 20-year tenant, and it was one of those deals. They inherited this rent house and it was like their grandma owned it and she'd kind of neglected it because she just got kind of old, not all mentally there, I think. So they inherited this rent house and the dude left. So it sat empty for like 2 weeks. I mean, that's it. And then they were going to remodel it. Well, they go in and this guy had started squatting in there in that 2 weeks and there was no water or anything. And he kept using the toilet all 2 weeks of that and just filled that thing plumb full of just shit. And she goes, yeah, we had to use a head country ladle to ladle it out. And I was like, ew.
What's the deal with squatters' rights? You know anything about that?
I know a little bit. I don't know a lot though to really speak educatedly on it. But there are such things as squatters' rights.
Yeah. Have you seen the guys, which this kind of looks interesting, which I might be for hire to do it, but literally go and get the squatters out of houses?
Yeah, well, the city inspector has to do that.
Well, there's
code
guys,
enforcement, I should say.
You can see their stuff on the internet to where that's their job. They'll go and.
Well, my buddy Corey, he was on here. He was episode 1, baby. First guest we ever had on here. I want to have him back on because he's such a good friend of mine. But no, that's something. I mean, he's getting more into the building inspection side, so he's dealing with less of that. But he's code enforcement. So he has to go into these abandoned houses and stuff like that, and he has to kick squatters out, and he knows a lot of them by name and stuff like that. But yeah, there's certain squatters' rights that they have. Like sometimes I don't know how it all works, but sometimes it's like there might have been a girlfriend living with an old man kind of thing, and he died. Well, he quit. The house is paid off, and he isn't. I don't know. She keeps paying utility bills and stuff like that. That somebody might be trying to take the house over, kick them out, but technically the squatter has the rights to be there because it's just, I don't know. I couldn't tell you in depth on how it all works. It's kind of goofy though.
Tell you what, if there's a squatter in my rent house that I have, man, I'd grab him by the ear and just yank him out.
Oh, yeah. Dude, speaking of city stuff, I got to bring this up because it's so funny. I was at a city commission meeting the other day, and they open up public comments at the end, and you can come and talk about whatever you want at the very end of the city commission meeting. If it's good and it's educated and it's, hey, here's an issue I see in town and I would like to address it, then the city commission will put it on the agenda for the next episode next episode. It's like a podcast. City commission's just one. That's all it is, dude. It's a big podcast,
Well, they do it live, don't they?
Yeah. So they did this. Well, one guy goes up there and immediately, dude. And this guy, he's the neighbors of one of my rent houses. He's a fucking lunatic. And he goes to the gym a lot too, and I see him there. He walks up, he opens his Bible. He goes, 2 Timothy 3, and I don't remember what verses he was reading, but it was just like the very first thing. There's 2 women city commissioners. And he was like, women should be seen and not heard, blah, 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 and they should not be, he totally botched what it actually said. It is just like, women should only be seen and not heard. We shouldn't be listening to women and leadership and this and that. Women are only for childbearing. And you're like, fuck, dude. Everybody in there is just like, and this was a big city commission meeting because they were voting on whether or not the city wanted to fund housing development. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of like big people in town at this meeting, and we're all just looking at each other cringing. We're like, everybody's like trying to stay professional, like, what? And I'm just over here busting up laughing. I think at one point I even yelled out, what the fuck? He's just going on about how women should only be seen. And then he goes, the best women's soccer team in the world was beaten by a bunch of 14-year-old boys, young men. And he's like, so it's just absolutely ridiculous. And just look at any employer where the women rule the roost. It's just unbearable. Who even wants to live in a society of that? It's just unbearable. We just need to stop listening to women. I was like,
was he live streaming it?
Oh yeah.
But he was live streaming it.
Well, the city was.
Okay. Well, because there's people like Alex Rosen, Alex Stein. And
no, he wasn't live streaming it, but the city live streams the meetings.
And this Cassidy Campbell dude, they're the ones that they'll go in front of, Austin.
Yeah,
in front of those guys, or down at the Houston one, and they'll do stuff like that as a big goof.
No, this guy was not goof. I mean, he's mentally insane. I mean, he literally has mental issues.
Well, you damn near said his name. You said he lives next door to one of your renters. You see him at the gym. You get coffee with him at Starbucks. I mean, just say his name.
Well, his name's Joel. He lives at 408 North Palm, Ponca City, Oklahoma.
Joel Lashitsky.
I don't know his last name. But
Biederman.
Yeah, Joel Lashitsky. No, it probably said, I mean, he said it in a public meeting, his address and everything. So, I mean, I'm not afraid to say his name. Say his name. Let me just see, man. It's McBlair is his last name.
City, Oklahoma.
Hold it up to your mic. Or find it, then.
Yeah, let me connect.
Yeah, get a little snippet, man.
I'm gonna connect it to the Bluetooth, dude. It just everybody is just cringing in the room, going, "What the fuck?" It's so funny. Let me make sure that's coming through. Yeah, I love public meetings, dude. I used to think that they were so boring, but now I go to them and I'm like, this is awesome.
11 to 15.
I've been on one or two of the public meetings.
Silence with full submissiveness. I do not permit a woman to teach or to exercise authority over a man, but to be in silence. For Adam was formed first, then Eve. Also Adam was not deceived, but the woman was thoroughly deceived and came to be in transgression. However, she will be kept safe through childbearing, provided they continue in faith and love and sanctification along with soundness of mind. the best women's soccer team was beaten by 14-year-old boys.
He's right about that.
Young men. Gynocentrism continues to indoctrinate hate against men.
That guy looks familiar.
Misandry run amok, fueled by misinformation. Workplaces that are unbearable wastelands where a woman rules the roost and confusion is king. Garbage in, garbage out. Things are only going to get worse. A lot of times people are like hiring. I mean, to get into psychology of it, some places, workplaces are unbearable. And it's only going to get worse. And these events, it's the confusion. A lot of times people are confused by what's going on.
That's what I mean. You get it. He just keeps going on about how unbearable workplaces are. Dude doesn't even have a job. You know?
Well, he was right about the women's soccer team. Did you ever see that?
I remember as a deal, but
no.
I remember something about the U.S. women's soccer team or something.
Yeah, got beat by like a 14-year-old group of boys.
But was it a legit game?
Yes.
I mean, were they actually trying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. But it's just funny. I mean, it's just the whole thing. And you're like in there and
I was trying to make a positive out of what he was saying. I was trying to be an asshole.
You're trying to be an ass. Yeah. You're like, well,
and you tried to not touch it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's funny, dude.
Women belong in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They don't belong out of the house.
I guess he's also super racist. But he goes out. I guess he'll get in trouble. He gets arrested a lot for disturbing the peace because, and I didn't know this, my renters have never said anything about it or anything. But my buddy's a lieutenant at the police department was telling me about it, and he goes, "Oh yeah, we arrest him a lot for disturbing the peace." I was like, well, "What does he do?" And they're like, "He goes outside and he reads the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence."
Nice.
And I was like, "Well, that's not bad." And they're like, "No, it's not bad, except he screams it at the top of his lungs."
He reminds me of one of those guys that'll take the video camera and like go to City Hall and want to open up the doors and go back and see what everything's going on because it's taxpayer funded and should be public. You ever seen those guys that do that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, some of those guys are weird though. Like it happened to it was the city commission race. There was some YouTuber who was trying to, and dude, those people are so annoying. I'm not even gonna lie, because like they tried to like corner someone. It was like one of the women who ran for city commission. She was running against another guy, and that guy was special needs. But they had like a debate or a forum, I guess they'd call it. It wasn't really a debate, but more of a forum. And they were like, afterwards, there was open to public question, and afterwards, like, what did you think, blah, 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 on this issue? Oh, like trying to be like a stopper on the stairway with a camera and put him on the spot. And dude, those people are always so annoying because then like whoever is running, the politician, I've seen them do it with like U.S. senators and stuff. And those people are like, they're like, just basically they tell them to fuck off. You know, they're like, just go. Well, they're like, we got them to go silent because they couldn't answer our question. It's like, no, you're being fucking annoying, and they told you to go away.
Yeah, or have you seen the sovereign citizens?
No.
They're the ones that don't believe in any of our laws that we have, and they claim to be a sovereign citizen. So since they're a self-appointed sovereign citizen, they don't believe in, having to answer questions to cops or the justice system in general.
Yeah.
We've had people do protests outside of the refinery before to where you're not supposed to confront them or anything, but they know that they can get so far here, and they're just trying to instigate shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you lose it. I mean, people do it to politicians all the time. They'll corner them or they'll corner their families, and they're trying to. I mean, they do it to all sorts of people, celebrities, everything. That's why, like, tabloids are so big, because it's like, oh, we caught Miley Cyrus, blah, 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 and she was yelling at us. It's like, yeah, dude, you're the fifth person that ran into her today with a camera in her face. Like, yeah, like, just quit.
I wonder if we'll ever get confronted stepping outside the studio, you and me.
Probably, dude.
Probably.
I mean, we're getting big time.
Yeah. And you've hit it big whenever you get confronted.
Yeah. Here, I want to play this reel, totally off topic, but this is probably...
Dude, there is no way this single beaver built this whole fucking thing. That is incredible.
Yeah, started over.
Just wanted to remind...
Dude, there is no way this single beaver built this whole fucking thing. That is incredible. Dude,
No, I just fucking love that video. I got more. That's not even our video. I got more DMs from that video than I have anything else I think I've ever posted on Instagram.
Those beavers are impressive, man.
Yeah, dude, they can build a fucking dam.
And I think that was a hydroelectric dam too, so they were generating electricity off of it.
People sleep on beavers, dude. What they're able to do.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
I slept on beavers a few times.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever eaten beaver? I actually did one time. Not the kind of beaver you're thinking of, but like actual
Where was that at?
animal smoked beaver.
Where?
I don't even know what town I was in. I don't know. It was
Was it Oklahoma?
yeah, it was in Oklahoma.
Okay.
I don't remember where now. Not important, I guess. But yeah, somewhere in Oklahoma. We went to like this deal. Oh, dude, that was something I wanted to bring up last episode. We went to this fundraiser, and then I'll talk about this, and then we can kind of. There's one other deal I want to hit that's actually relevant to construction. So I haven't talked anything of that theme today, but that's okay. And then I will hit on our topic, and then we can wrap this thing up. But I went to this fundraiser last week. Victoria and I did. It's called the Beast Feast. Dude, you need to mark your calendar for that next year. I'll tell you when it is. It's was to benefit the DDX3X Foundation, I think it's called. Really rare kind of diagnosis. But the game warden here in town, his daughter has it, and I didn't know that. But it's a type of special needs. It's kind of like a combination of like ADHD and ADD and like autism and some other stuff all mixed in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of things. And it's only like 1,200 kids in the world have been diagnosed with it. And a pretty new, I don't know if disease is the right word, but something. Well, they did this fundraiser called the Beast Feast, and obviously he's the game warden. I know his brother. I work with him. He manages a hunting ranch. Well, they go elk hunting and deer and duck and goose and pheasant and turkey and all. They had all these crazy types of wild game that they cook that they've killed. You know, nigil. You ever heard of a nigil, something like that?
Easy. I heard of Vince Gill.
Yeah, not quite Vince Gill. It's like an African gazelle kind of thing. Well, dude, they cooked all this stuff up. Some of the best food I've ever had in my life is at Stagecoach Barbecue because they own that. And they made all this wild game, and then they did this fundraiser where you show up. And, I mean, it was a just good fundraiser. You show up, you eat. They gave a little 5-minute deal on like, you know, hey, this is what it's about, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's eat, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, that was some of the best food I've ever had in my life. All wild game.
You ever eaten a turtle?
No.
My old man and
He was big into turtle, right?
yeah,
Eating turtles.
Yeah, and then, that was my tattoo also with the old snapping turtle.
Yeah, you
holding
talked about that before.
Yeah, he would always say that snapping turtles supposedly have 7 different meats in them. A little turkey, a little bit of beef, a little bit of chicken, but we would turtle stew is what we'd always.
I could probably eat like a freshwater turtle. I've had the opportunity to eat sea turtle, but I've never done it. That kind of goes against some of my beliefs.
Well, the idea we'd eat leatherbacks or soft shell turtles and snapping turtles, and the idea was once you get them out of the ponds or the lakes, you would put them in, like a horse trough with good fresh water.
Yeah, and
you'd hopefully let them drink and flush out, whatever was left in their system to where hopefully their meat would clean up a little bit, but then
really,
then you get the meat off their legs and their tail and all that. And whenever you'd stew it, you'd throw your onions, potatoes, and carrots and all that, and just make a stew. And I mean, it was good stuff, man. Just kind of a lot of work though.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of work. Yeah, I've never done it. I don't know. I think that like I'm so passionate about like sea turtles. That's my favorite animal. I love sea turtles, dude. And like they're so cool to see underwater, and like they're endangered. I mean, I don't know if they're on the official endangered list, but obviously they are kind of at risk. And like the Japanese, they're really bad about like sharks and turtles. They just destroy those things all over the world. And So I'm kind of against eating that stuff. I've seen it on menus in like faraway places where it's allowed, but I'm never going to eat that kind of stuff. And like, I think that my thoughts on eating sea turtle kind of translates to the freshwater. Like, man, I don't want to kill these creatures, but I don't know, like a lake or pond turtle, I could probably do that.
Yeah, but it's tough. Where do you draw the line on what's cute?
right.
You know, I don't want to.
That's not even what's cute. It's what's endangered, you know? And it's like, because turtles can live to be
Longer
hundreds
than us.
of years
Longer
old.
than us.
Hundreds of years old.
I saw a cool video the other day.
Like, would you eat Osiris? Your big African turtle?
No, but I think I've talked about this before. Now, if it came down to, you know, EMP hits, Civil War, whatever, it all breaks down, then yeah, I mean,
Well,
our lives are more, you know.
yeah.
But I might have talked about this before. It'd be tough for me to have cattle, at least a cow that I have a name to, and I go out and see him every day. Or like my pig, Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Knowing that I'm going to be slaughtering him, he's getting big enough to where, you know, I'm going to eat him. It's tough. I mean, if I had to do it, yes, I would. But no, I wouldn't eat Osiris.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But some old turtle that I don't know from a pond.
Yeah, from a pond. That's what I'm saying. A turtle from a pond, because I don't think those are named. You see those
name
everywhere.
Him. Don't name that turtle when you catch him.
Yeah, yeah.
And don't start petting him. You
Don't
know,
name him Vince Gill.
yeah, and don't look him in the eyes either, because you know once you make eye contact, it's over with.
Yeah. So moving on, have you heard the big news about Oklahoma City?
No, James.
They are getting the U.S.'s tallest skyscraper. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yeah. They got approved and everything from the planning commission. Still got to go to like the city commission, but I mean, they've got like the preliminary everything done. So
is Truth doing the dirt work on it?
I asked Taylor that because he shared it on Facebook. Yeah. I was like, y'all doing that? Y'all got the pad on that? Dude, that's going to be a major freaking earthwork project, because I bet they'll have to dig down a long ways just to pour a foundation to support a building that big that can be, you know, you get all the people that are not building engineers talking about fucking, you know, well, what about the tornadoes and the earthquakes? That ain't ever going to work in Oklahoma. It's like, yeah, well, there's engineers that are a lot smarter than you, Cletus, that are designing this building. So,
yeah, I've seen some of the engineering. I don't know shit about it, but like over in China and some of those places where they show, granted, it's not going to be as tall as this, but there's skyscrapers and the earthquake resistant things that they have in place, like basically shock absorb. It's still going to sway back and forth, but deep down, man, it's crazy how that stuff balances out.
Yeah, we studied that in one of my college structures classes, and it's, yeah, I mean, they're designed to sway. I mean, like if you're on the top floor on a super windy day, you'll feel it.
Yeah,
doing that number. You know, it's kind of scary, but and I did that. We were in a tall skyscraper one time. I've never been to any of the big ones like the Chicago. What is that? The Sears Tower.
It used to be Sears, but I think they name it something different now.
Yeah, I haven't been in that, and I haven't been in like the Freedom Tower or anything like that. But I mean, I've been at some tall skyscrapers, and like, you know, you look over the edge, and you can kind of feel it just barely moving. You're like, whoo, okay. But I mean, it's designed to do that.
And how tall is this going to be?
This one's going to be 1,907 feet tall.
And why is that?
1907 is whenever Oklahoma became a state.
There you go. Good on your history, man.
Yeah. No, it's going to be bigger. So I think currently the tallest skyscraper in America is the Freedom Tower, which replaced the Twin Towers. And it was 1,776 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be 200, 100 and some odd feet taller than that.
Yeah, and sometimes they get that extra footage just because of the mast on top.
Yeah, like the antenna or something, you know.
We're only at 500 feet or 1,500 feet, and they get, you know, the 276-foot antenna on top to. Mm-hmm. So is it a true 1776?
I don't know. I watched a documentary about them building that.
Are you a true 12?
Yeah, a true 12.
More like 6.
Are you actually 6 inches? No,
That's what they do. They measure those tires from the tank.
Yeah,
that's how they get the. Yeah, that's how they get the 1776. Dude, this is only 800 foot. Yeah, but we measure it from the tank.
Yeah, they started from the bottom end. Yeah. No, dude, I'm excited for it. I watched a documentary whenever they built the Freedom Tower, and I always thought, dude, what would it be like? And now that we've got this super secret, high level clearance, Dirty and Driven podcast, we'll have to get in on some of that.
Yeah, we can do remotes down there during it periodically, like quarterly.
Yeah, just go sit in the taint and watch and record podcasts.
So I wonder if the taint of the building is actually, how they dig down for a super tall building like that, you're going to have a foundation that's way down in the ground, right?
Yeah.
Or at least hit bedrock, however deep that is.
Yeah, bedrock or something.
So my wife and I went to New York City after, the Twin Towers deal, which I got pictures and video of it, but the hole in the ground to where it was basically the deep down foundation for it. Fuck, it was every bit of 100 and some feet down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd have to. I mean, to support that, it's got to go way down. So I'm excited to watch it, dude. I think it's going to be cool. I'm really going to try and, especially, I'm going to be doing more business in Oklahoma City here coming up. So they say that it could start as early as next July, construction on it. I don't believe that. They're not even done with the design phase yet. And I just don't see... I know how this stuff works because I'm working on a very small in comparison development project of 28 houses. And it's taken, it takes a long time to get through a lot of the stuff, which sounds like they're at least through a lot of the preliminary, can we even do this phase? And they're getting into more stuff. But it just takes so long to move things around, get quotes, and do all that. I bet it's going to be, I bet it's 2 years before we actually see construction start, but I could be wrong.
And who's the investors?
I don't 100% know. They've talked about them.
Hey, we could invest a little bit. That way we could say we were part of we'll get our logo.
Get our logo on the top of the building.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that kind of budget.
Yeah.
Donate. Hey, drop some money in the tip jar. And if we get enough money in the tip jar, we'll put our logo on the side of the it'll be the Dirty and Driven Tower.
Or we can put people's donors' names on bricks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll put your name on a brick.
Yeah.
And then we'll put our dozer on top of the building. Dude, it's like, because the Devon Tower's down there, and I don't remember how tall it is. I don't even think it's 1,000 feet. I could be wrong on that. It might be 1,200 feet. I can't remember, because the Devon Tower was going to be quite a bit bigger, and they ran into certain issues, and then they decided, we'll make it smaller. And, it's huge if you're in downtown Oklahoma City. For a skyscraper, it's a good sized one. If you're in New York or something, you'd be like, that's not a knife. This is a knife, But that's a big tower already, and it's going to be like more than double the size of that. They're going to be looking down at like, there's those fucking peons.
I remember I've never been to really big cities, especially big buildings, but when I was in New York City and you'd go by those pretty much skyscrapers and they're built so close together, within 20 feet, but they go, 500, 800 foot up in the air. Like the vertigo you'd get from looking up at the building, and it just...
I like doing that, dude. It gives you vertigo, man. Like, even like the St. Louis Arch or like the Washington Monument, some of those weird ones, if you go stand at the base of it and just look up, you go, whoa.
One thing I noticed a bunch about New York City, too, was how bad it fucking stunk.
Really?
Yeah, because you'd go by and you'd walk and you'd get like air blowing up against you, and it'd be the sewer system that goes underneath the roads, and it's literally the waste, the shit sewer.
Yeah.
And every now and then, the positive air that would be coming out, the venting out, dude, it just fucking stunk.
I've never been to New York. My best friend's moving there right now. He's going to culinary school there, so I'll probably end up going in the next year. My wife's going in July, I think, and I'm thinking about maybe taking a long weekend and going up. She's going with our church for a mission trip, but I've thought about going up and meeting her, after kind of the tail end, because they're going for like a week or 10 days or something. Yeah. I can't take off that long, but I've thought about going up there maybe a long weekend and seeing my buddy and meeting up with her and everything. And I'd like to go. I've never had a desire to really go to New York, but I would like to go at least once. But New Orleans is like that too. It kind of stinks.
Yeah. Yes. New York would definitely probably be a one and done.
Yeah.
I really don't care to go back. We went to Staten Island, then we got on the Staten Island ferry and ferried across down to Lower Manhattan and Battery Parks there and stuff. Went and saw where the Freedom Tower was being built, and
yeah.
But all walks of life, and then took the old ferry back, you know.
Like, I'd like to see the Freedom Tower. I'd like to see Statue of Liberty, just to see it, you know. I mean, but New York's not a place that's really interested me. I'm sure I'd like it if I went. I don't love big cities. I mean, I like to spend. One thing that I love, honestly, that I've really gotten into, because we take so many long weekends, but like we hardly ever spend serious amount of time in one place. I've learned that I just like to go, and I mean, you can cover a lot of distance if you just go walk. And I like to just go somewhere in a big city like that and just start walking the streets and just kind of seeing all the random back alleys, this, that's, the others, and just walk around and see the place. And I mean, it's fun. Or take scooters and ride around and just see the whole thing. And then if there's anything that interests you, find somewhere, one or two good places to eat and kind of go on. Just kind of walk around and see it and leave. I like it.
I remember there was some old churches in Lower Manhattan, and there was this real small section of grass that was an old cemetery, like old, like 1700. And if I remember right, it might have had like Alexander Hamilton's headstone in there or something.
Not Alexandria
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, the sixth.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure there's some cool gyms in there. It's just, God, anytime you get that many people in one place, it gets pretty gross.
And AOC, the sixth, great grandmother was also a bartender, also.
Oh, yeah.
Turned politician.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. But New Orleans is like that too. It's just gross, man. I love New Orleans. I love New Orleans, dude. It's one of my favorite cities.
Yeah, it's nasty.
I wouldn't want to live there. I mean, obviously Victoria lived there a couple of years, and I'd visit a lot. Loved visiting. But dude, yeah, that you talk about a place that stunk.
Yeah, humid, and just it feels like right once you get out, you need to take a shower.
Oh yeah, especially go in the middle of summer.
And dude, I remember when I went down it was post Mardi Gras a few weeks after, but it was still party time, and everybody parties and pisses on the streets, whatever they do. Then at 3 or 4 in the morning, they get everybody off the streets, and they take them street power washers or the street cleaners, and they go through and they just power wash and scrub the whole streets.
Yeah.
Do it again.
That's a nasty place, dude. They have cops everywhere to keep people from peeing in the streets.
Yeah.
But dude, it's hard to find a bathroom.
Yeah.
It is hard to find a
What
bathroom.
do you expect me to do?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fun though. I always love going there. Anyways, I would like to just hit on a quick topic here, and then we can wrap this sumbitch up.
All right, before we do it, I got to say something real quick.
Okay, say it.
You know, I told you how whenever I have an itch, I need to scratch it, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those bad deals. Mm-hmm. Well, I got this job out just down the road from me, and it's like 60 acres that I'm kind of spraying, doing fence line work for.
Yeah.
Well, there's a 1/4 mile fence line on the front part of this property that had briar going in it, honeysuckle, all types of stuff growing into the barbed wire fence line. It was pretty dense, old Johnson grass growth and stuff. But anyway, I want to get all that stuff cleared out before I sprayed it. So it was old growth. I mean, it was some work. So I'd have to cut stuff out with my pole saw or whatever, get down and get it and yank all the shit out. And it'd be like the briar would be, I was wearing sleeves and crap, the proper PPE, but the briar would stick me. I mean, it'd get a little piece of briar would be like wrapped up around my pant leg. And then when you go down to get it, then it gets on your back, then it's on your, you know what I mean? Because you get wrapped up in it. Mm-hmm. Well, I was being decently super careful. Well, sure enough, 3 or 4 days later, which this was only a couple of days ago, I started getting can't quite see it, but fucking got poison ivy and shit.
Oh, dude.
And it's not bad. I've been treating it. And I'm usually good about that. I'm just wearing the sleeves and stuff, but dude, still
It's tough.
Yeah. So
Poison ivy sucks, dude. I get real bad poison ivy.
And I don't really get it bad, or I haven't gotten it bad, but unless if I was in like them welding sleeves or you know what I mean? Because after I get the shit ripped out, I put the old bear hug on it because a lot of it I would trailer off to a big burn pile. Mm-hmm. So I was just wrapping up, sweating, getting it, you know.
Dude, be careful burning that poison ivy because you don't want to get it in your lungs.
Yeah, well, I'm not burning it, but yeah. But still, sometimes you can take all the precautions and still.
Yeah, dude, I thought I got it because I walked through a bunch of it. I'm always like, as soon as I get done, if I think that there might have even been a remote chance of poison ivy, I usually take a cold shower and really scrub that off. Like if I see any spots pop up the next day or something, I'll go Dawn dish soap that spot and try and get it off the best I can. Sometimes that works. And I had a scare. I thought that I had it, and because I was in it on Wednesday, and I saw a bunch. And I was like, shit, dude, on Thursday I had all these bumps pop up and kind of blistery. Turns out I think they're chigger bites because it hasn't spread.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I was scared. I got poison ivy too, and I'm still itchy. But like, because I got the marathon tomorrow, and I was like, fuck, dude. Do you know how bad that'd be? Because like I don't just get poison ivy, dude. It engulfs my body.
Especially when you start swamping and sweating.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's gonna be miserable. I mean, seriously. So I was pretty scared. I thought I was gonna have to go get a steroid shot in the butt, and thankfully I didn't. So, you know what's a really good anti-itch cream?
What?
Well, you're smiling at me. What do you think?
Because I know it's gonna be funny. Come on.
No, it's not funny. Our boy Tim with Delaboro.
Oh yeah.
Aftercare. That hand cream. Dude, that stuff's a good anti-itch cream too.
Speaking of Delaboro, he's got a new product out, don't he?
Does he?
Yeah, or is it the same cream? Does he have the beard cream also?
Well, he's got the beard balm.
Beard balm.
Remember, you got some beard balm.
Yes, but he's got the other stuff too.
Yeah, he's got the muscle rub, the hand cream, the beard balm.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Shout out Tim, free sponsorship.
Yeah.
Or free shout out. Yeah. No, dude, those are good products. I use that shit all the time.
Yeah, we only promote products that, we use.
Yeah. No, and Tim's a good dude. I mean, he ain't paying us nothing to advertise for him. I posted a deal on my story the other day. He's a friend, he's a cool guy. I talk to him a lot, and I always appreciate his products because they're good quality. And he's a blue collar dude too. He works in the water department, and he's just a good old blue collar dude and happens to sell this stuff on the side. And it's a good product. So his muscle rub really works, dude. It beats the shit out of icy hot, and it doesn't smell weird, and it doesn't burn. But anyways, speaking of all that, no, dude, I wanted to touch today. So I know we talk a lot about health and wellness and things like that. And I'm running the marathon tomorrow. By the time this comes out, I'll have already ran it. But, and I've got the rugby jersey on. And
where's the marathon at?
Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it. People think like, oh, dude, why do you do this shit? People ask me all the time, why do you do these endurance events? Why do you do marathons? Why do you do triathlons? Why do you do these things and push your body to that level? You're going to get old one day. You're going to start hurting. You're going to blah, blah. I've heard everything in the book. And the reason I do it is because I want to encourage others. And I want to encourage you to just maybe get off the couch and go for a 10-minute walk today. I want to encourage you to, after you get off of a machine running it for 12 hours and you've been sitting in this position all day, running that machine, physically you're probably kind of tired because, it's beating you up, jostling you around, but you still need to get up and just take a 10, 15, 20-minute walk, stretch your legs. My encouragement is I do this really hard stuff, okay? You can leave that to me. That's fine. But my encouragement is I want to show you that, hey, it's doable and it's possible. And I'm going to do really hard things so you look at it. Because if I just post that I ran a 5K, you're going to keep scrolling on past like, okay, yeah, you ran a 5K. But if I post I ran a marathon or my goal for next year, which is a 100-miler, I want people to look at that and go, holy fucking shit, dude, that's insane. And I want to just in that message say, look, I run this because I want to encourage you guys just to do something minor. Just take it into account and do something consistent. And I do this to train for these big events. I have to be consistent because if I'm not consistently training daily, then I can't do these events. So this is my way of staying sharp and doing this stuff every single day, doing something hard every single day. So that way you guys can look at me and not even look at me, but you guys can look at yourselves and say, I need to do something. And that's the goal, right? To do big things to get your attention so that way you guys will go out and you will take your health and your wellness into your own hands.
Is this the bombing marathon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool deal. I mean,
It's going to be, or it rained the whole time when you did the marathon.
it's the forecast is that it's going to stop like right before.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that's the case. Last year it was like perfect weather. It was awesome. If it stops raining, it'll be pretty nice weather too. But no, I mean it's like that's just what I want to talk about. Like, okay, you and I know that like you do it very well. You stay active. You eat well. You're not fucking David Goggins over here. You know what I mean? But like you are a good example of you intentionally do things to better yourself, to stay active, to stay moving. You know, you still enjoy your drinks. You still enjoy your chili cheese conies and all that. But also,
Yeah, that sounds good right now.
yeah. But also, you know, you're
7:30 in the morning.
yeah. Well, you just got off work.
The great thing about Sonic is they have a full menu all day,
Yeah.
meaning I can get that chili cheese coney here when we wrap up.
Oh yeah. You know, so you've got that going, but like, and that's where you and I are a good balance, right? You know, but I just want to speak to these guys and say, you know, it's not that hard. And the reason I even started on this mission is I was in the best shape of my life, right? Because a lot of people, they do it and then they fall out because work gets busy, or they hurt themselves or something starts hurting, you know, my knees ain't what they used to be. Well, I had a freaking debilitating back injury for a long time, and I talk about it all the time. And for a long time, I couldn't even walk more than about 100 yards without just being in crippled up pain, dude. I mean, I'm talking the kind of pain that like you lay down at night and you hope you don't wake back up. Legit. I mean, the amount of times I thought about offing myself is insane during that time period. And you can
thought about killing yourself?
Yeah.
Just because of a little back injury?
Dude, whenever you wake up and you can't move and you like try to, like, you can't sit, you can't stand, you can't walk.
I've been constipated that way before.
Yeah.
To where it won't come out. And dude, if this is what death is like, fuck.
Yeah, dude, it's just like that, but day in and day out. You know, and then like sciatica starts kicking in. You're like, it's shooting down your legs. And like, you can't work. You can't do anything, dude. You can't even sit at a desk. You're like, dude, everything just fucking hurts. I'm always in pain, to the point where you're like, is this life? You know, so you get to that and then you figure out, I mean, I spent years, thousands of dollars, went to all these doctors and, you know, the best doctors in the state, you know, and just, you know, all it was, I mean, we can do surgery if you want, but I wouldn't do that. You know, you're young. Why would you want to get a surgery? It's like, fuck, dude. You know, so, you know, I found ways, physical therapy and stuff like that, that were able to help mitigate the pain and slowly but surely work my way up. And remember, I hurt myself in the best shape of my life. And it was a nasty injury. It was the kind of injury I had 3 doctors tell me, dude, you only see this kind of injury in like 70-year-old men. It's like, what the hell, man?
So you injured your hip.
What?
Well, you said it was a 70-year-old man injury. It's usually a hip injury.
Well, it was back, a couple discs, my hip. My hip is part of the problem too. It was a complex injury.
I love taking you off track, man.
Well, it was a complex injury. I mean, my hip is part of it. I have to do a lot of hip mobility stuff. But, you know, I do that stuff. So that's where like I started getting to the point where I was doing some little things. Cause I lost all muscle mass, all weight I'd gained, everything, dude. It just all like, I was a stick. I mean, I looked like I was Ethiopian there for a little while. And, you know, I just slowly built back up. And day at a time, one day at a time, right? And eventually it got to the point where I could run like 100 yards without hurting. Okay. And then it gets to the point where it's like, all right, I can maybe do like a half mile. All right. And then you keep building up. And that's kind of why I went with running. I'd love to play rugby again, but I think that would be a terrible idea and it would put me way back. Also, we don't have a rugby team in Ponca, but I could find ways. But no, I mean, and then finally I'd get back into the weight room and do certain things. And I mean, if you watch my weight workouts, they're nothing crazy. I mean, I've got to, you know, really mitigate and focus on my core strength and all that so I don't re-hurt myself. But that's why I run. That's why I do these crazy things. And it's just to tell guys that, look, man, a lot of blue collar guys have back injuries, they have knee injuries, and there's ways out of that without surgery. And that's kind of what I did. And that's why I do these hard events, is to say, yeah, dude, I had a terrible injury. One of the probably worst back injuries you could get, short of just breaking your back. And I've been able to climb out of that hole and succeed and kick ass. And although I still deal with it, it's not near as bad as it used to be, and it's not debilitating. And it's because I decided to take my proper health, nutrition, physical stuff into my own hands and not rely on the American medical system to do that for me.
Well said.
Sermon over.
You kind of got me on one of them, though. You talked about a guy being a dozer all day, sitting, running. Mm-hmm. How can he be sitting, running?
Running the machine.
Oh, okay. Running the machine.
Yeah. Dude, and that's one of those things, like, if I'm on the asphalt crew and I'm rolling, I posted a video about it a while back. If I'm rolling all day, like, you think, like, it's easy to say from the high tower, like, oh, well, every now and then you just need to pause and you need to get off and you need to walk a couple quick little laps around your machine, 30 seconds or a minute. Dude, like, whenever you're running on a fast-paced job environment, like, you might have enough time to get off, take a quick piss, get back on and go. Like, you don't even have time to stop and eat. Like, you're eating sandwich in one hand, controls in the other, you know. And like, on a high production operation, it's easy to say that, but it's easier said than done. And I would find myself doing that. Well, like, my watch would be telling me, like, move, move, move. Like, you're tired. You're constantly, you know, bending over. You know, you're hitting things. Like, you know, you're moving around. Like, your body, like, physically, you're still pretty active in your core, especially like on a roller. You're leaning this way, you're leaning that way, and you're back and forth all day. Well, same with like a track hoe or something. It's like you're moving, so you don't feel like you're doing that. You know, you get blue collar guys that are like, "Oh, dude, I'm active in my job all day long." Well, reality is, whenever you run a machine all day long, you get up, like, you get out of that machine, you get up, and I bet your legs are pretty tired because you've been sitting all day, just as you would be sitting at a desk. And it's important to just take a few minutes just to go on a walk, you know, even just short as half a mile, just stretch yourself out. And like, I know that days whenever I'm running, especially if I'm doing it multiple days in a row, running equipment, that's the only thing that keeps me going. Because if I don't do that, it's like, it really locks you up.
Yeah.
And you got to get that blood moving, just get things moving right. Otherwise you are going to get injuries.
If I worked on the road crew, I'd be a roller guy because I like roller dogs.
Yeah.
So
that's what the boys call me, roller dog.
Yeah. That's what I'd be doing.
I've thought about making a video like that and be like, you know, my name's James, but the boys call me roller dog. I'm workshopping it.
Or if you had 3 or 4 guys that's all they do is run rollers, like get them jackets, you know, like you had the Hells Angels, you know.
Yeah.
What are they called? They're not called the bars, but what's it called, you know, when the rocker or something across the top, if you're in a biker gang.
Yeah.
But they'd be called the roller dogs.
The roller dogs.
Like the North Central Oklahoma chapter of the roller dogs.
I don't think that they would really like the
1%er patch.
I don't think they'd like the leather jackets on a roller though.
Oh,
it's hot enough. It's hot enough.
Yeah, but check this out.
Leather vests, I guess.
Yeah, but you know they go to poker runs in the rollers. You know what I mean? They stop at different bars. But
that would take so long because the max speed on those things is 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, it'd only be like one bar. It'd only be like one hand for poker run, the best hand. But also, what if they're hanging out and they see somebody else roll up with a leather jacket on from a supposedly different roller group, and they call him out on it? Like a roller dog, you know what I mean? Kind of like biker gang wars. But
the roller dog, and then you got like rolling on the river or something. They pull up.
Rolling
on the river. Yeah.
They wouldn't want any other roller crew to roll up in this area because this is their area.
It'd be like a bunch of sloths fighting. They just get off.
Yeah, it'd all be slow motion.
Ooh, you know.
Yeah.
You know what? You know another name for a roller is though.
What?
The old marital aid. Because they vibrate.
Oh.
They got some heavy vibrators on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to your point too, and then we can wrap this up. Plus, a lot of them, that heavy equipment doesn't have shocks in them, so it'll beat the shit out of your guts and stuff too, man.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I mean, you really noticed, it's some core strength.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to really, you can't just be like, shaking around. I mean, you've got to be somewhat active. So, I mean, it is active job, but you still need to get up and just move.
Yeah.
Someone told me the other day, and I hadn't heard this, but they said sitting is the new smoking. I thought that was interesting.
Well,
Like it's just as detrimental, like if not worse. I would argue, because I know people that are old that have smoked their whole lives, but they're very active, and I mean, they're still in decent health.
Yeah.
I mean, could it be better if they weren't smoking? Yeah. Would it be better if they hadn't been smoking since they were 12? Yeah. But but they're active, so they still live to be 90 years old. But yeah, dude, you see a lot of people that they just sit all day long, and I mean, that's our culture in America, dude. We drive everywhere. We don't walk at all. We sit down, we sit at a desk, we sit on equipment. I mean, obviously not every job is like that, but the majority of Americans sit all day long, and they may not walk more than 2,000 steps in a day. And yeah, dude, that's terrible for your health.
Well, I've noticed, if I sleep longer than normal, so laying in bed longer, or sitting longer, you would think, no, it actually makes you feel worse.
Sometimes.
No, most. Yeah, you need your rest, but the longer you are stagnant, not moving around, it's actually tougher on your body.
Well, that was one thing I learned with my back injury. Like, if I laid down, it would almost make it worse a lot of times. Like, moving is so good. I mean, obviously you need rest, you need to stop, you need to let things recover. But like, if I'm sick and I I learned that whenever my injury was at its worst. Like, if I got sick and I was laying in bed for 2-3 days. That was around height of COVID. I probably got sick a couple times. And if I stayed just sleeping in bed all day, dude, it would be terrible. Like, I'd be sick and I'd just be in like terrible pain because I need to just get up and move, because everything would cramp up and seize up and be terrible. Yeah. So movement's important. And like I said, I run the extreme events. If you guys don't want to do that, leave that to me. You don't even need to run. Like, running is not the healthiest activity for you. Everybody always says that to me. I had a guy the other day tell me he's a big dude, and he's taken his health into his own hands finally, and he's been on a pretty long journey of eating clean and starting to work out again and stuff like that. And he's like, I think I'm going to start running again maybe in a few weeks. I want to blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's telling me that because he knows I run. I'm like, dude, you don't have to run. Like, just walk. Like, just go do something. Like, running for your health is probably for overall health. Running is probably one of the worst exercises, to be honest. I mean, because it is hard on your body. I mean, you could do a million other things to help your cardiovascular, like, riding a bike, swimming. You could just, again, walking, like doing rucks. Like, that's all better in my opinion, better for you long term than running.
We bought us a pretty badass rower a few months ago.
Oh yeah.
So my wife's been rowing a bunch.
That's good, dude. Rowing's good.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, you don't have to do all these crazy things. Everybody thinks I need to start running, no, you don't. Running's really hard on you.
And plus, if you're a bigger dude like me or bigger, it's tough on your guts and your joints and all that. Just if you ain't light on your feet, it's.
Well, the guy who told me that, he's probably 325 pounds right now, and he's telling me he wants to start running. I'm like, that's gonna be really hard on your joints.
Yeah, be careful.
I mean, you need to be careful. You're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Like, running, I do running because I like the mental gain from running, but for physical gain, it's not the best.
Well, I've thought about when we do go to war, I'll be back, front line, building shit, doing all the tough stuff. But if we need to relay a message, to say that the British are coming or whoever, then we're going to count on you to Paul Revere or, go, because that's why you've been training for us to.
That's fine. I'll do that.
No, I'm counting on you.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm not fighting a war for this government. But
what'd you say the other day?
I ain't got no qualms with the Viet Cong.
Yeah.
I ain't got no qualms with Israel or Palestine. They ain't affecting my bottom dollar.
You got to make it rhyme though.
What?
You have to make it rhyme.
Yeah.
Because it said I ain't got no qualms with the Viet Cong.
I ain't got no riz with
I ain't got no time.
I ain't got no riz with is.
I ain't got no time with Israel and Palestine.
Yeah. Israel and Palestine ain't affecting I guess it is affecting my bottom dollar because the taxes keep going up.
No, let's get out of it, dude. We stayed away from it.
We've stayed away from it. Yeah, we'll
haven't
stay
touched
back.
it yet.
We'll stay back. We'll stay back. We'll just go throw some rocks through windows in support of Israel, I guess, or Palestine. What's the trendy side? What's all the colleges supporting?
Palestine.
They're pro-Palestine,
Yeah.
and then the federal government, they're pro-Israel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Israel runs everything.
So
Everything.
yeah. Okay, we'll stay away from it because I don't know. I'm not educated on the topic. I haven't kept up with it. I think it's stupid. Anyways, yeah. So keep that in mind. I did want to shout out my buddy Corey,
Gang.
city inspector. You know, he's had a lot of back injuries for longer than I have, and I mean he's older than I am, but he's probably 45. Like, you know, he's not old, and he's had a bad back injury. He's had a couple surgeries and stuff. But his has stopped hurting, and he's kind of decided to take his health into his own hands. He's like, man, I'm going to do what you do. I'm not going to drink during the weekdays. I've been fasting more, you know, intermittent fasting and stuff. And he's like, I've really been watching what I eat. So shout out to him, man. I think that's awesome. And his back's not hurting like it has been. And it's been bothering him for years, dude.
Dude, I've found out whenever I was going through some of my, I don't want to make this about me, but it's a testimonial that But whenever I was having back issues at certain times, I didn't do anything crazy, but I slowly got it strengthened just by moving and doing stuff.
Yeah.
And now that my back's strong just from physical, I'm not saying I'm a stud, but from physical labor moving around, my back pain has went completely away because I've strengthened all the muscles that were hurting.
That's what I'm saying. It's important to do that. And it's important to strength train. Like, that was one thing, like, I could go shovel on the asphalt crew and my back wouldn't hurt so bad. But like, dude, sitting at the desk or, you know, standing, I mean, it hurt, or being in the truck, dude, that killed me. And so, yeah, I mean, it's important to strength train. And that's why strength training is important. Exactly what you're saying. You know, a lot of guys, they think, oh, I work a physical job. Well, you are, but you're doing repetitive motions, and you've got to do opposite motions. Yes. You know, if you're shoveling this way all the time, well, maybe you need to take a few reps and do the other way. If you're rolling or you're in a piece of equipment, that's kind of what walking is you're kind of doing the opposite motion. Your legs are in front of you, and now you're walking, getting them behind you. You know, you're just moving those things around to where you're strengthening the muscles around it, because those repetitive motions eventually will wear out your joints or your muscles or whatever. So it's important to kind of do that stuff.
There's pro baseball players and pro golfers that can pretty much equally hit the same distance from the opposite way that they normally hit.
Yeah.
With what you said, they equally train both sides. That way they're all not just one side.
Yeah. Well, it's like I learned whenever I was running the roller, like I'd be craning my neck this way so much. Well, at the end of the day, I learned I just need to take some time and stretch it the other way, crane it the other way. And that was helpful for me. You know, so there's a lot of things you can do like that. Honestly, if you want to listen to a good episode about that kind of stuff, go back and listen to our episode with Lori, the movement ninja, last April, about a year back. Or no, it wasn't April. It was in the fall. It was last like August. So go back and listen to her and follow her. She's great for that kind of stuff. And also, one other thing I want to say on all that is that I hear a lot of guys that they go, they decide, I want to get my health in check. I'm tired of being overweight. I'm tired of being a big fat fatty. I'm tired of having all these health issues. Well, instead of making small changes over time, they just go full bore into something. And that's fine. I mean, if you're a full bore person, but you can only do that for so long. You can only do that for like the amount of people I know, they're like, I'm doing the carnivore diet, or I'm going to only eat one meal a day. I've heard a lot of people tell me, I'm down. I'm only eating one meal a day. I'm fasting the rest of the day. Well, okay. I had a friend who did that recently. You know how long he lasted?
How long?
Guess.
One day.
I think he lasted about 5 days. One full, because he's like, I'm gonna do one meal a day during the week, and then on the weekends I'll kind of let loose a little bit. Not, you know, it's like, dude, you've got to figure out a plan. You can do that to start out. Like if you want to start out extreme like that and really kickstart it, that's fine. But have a plan, because you're gonna get real tired of that real fast. You're gonna go to events. You're gonna go to your friend's house. You're gonna like. Have a backup plan of learning and educating yourself. So if you want to go full bore into like the keto diet, that's one that I even see a lot of blue collar guys doing. They go keto or they go carnivore, and it lasts a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know, they see very minor results, and then they're like, yeah, dude, I saw some results. And then they fall off because it's not sustainable. Like it's not it's not enjoyable. And taking your health into check, eating right, exercising, it doesn't have to be unenjoyable, and it doesn't mean that you can't eat things that you don't like. It's a day-by-day thing. So you might fuck up today and drink 12 beers and like only eat cheesecake and ice cream all day. That's fine. Get back on tomorrow. And maybe you do it again tomorrow. Well, shit, okay. Let's get back on. Maybe you've got to break it down even more. All right, I fucked up and ate pancakes and syrup for breakfast. All right, well, at lunch, let's eat something, let's eat some chicken and rice. Okay, great. Now we had a good lunch. We kind of faltered off here, but just take it step by step. It's not an overnight change. It's a long-term battle. And a lot of people, they may have put 200 pounds on over the course of 15 years. And now all of a sudden they want to look like they did 15 years ago, and they get frustrated because after a month, they're not there yet. Well, dude, it took you 15 years to get to this point, and you can get looking like that in 6 to 12 months, maybe, if you're really disciplined. But it takes a long time to go backwards. You know what I mean? So it's just small changes over time, and that's all that we can really preach on that. So
yeah, weight loss is about calories in and out. So just because you had them pancakes for breakfast doesn't mean you can't get back on track for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
And also, this is a real good tip. The boxed apple pies that you can buy, like in little boxes?
Yeah. Like McDonald's has?
Yeah, but, you can buy them at gas stations or whatever.
Yeah.
A ton of sugar and all that stuff. Dude, I've been buying those lately. You take those. Here's the tip. Take those. And if you have an air fryer, if no one has an air fryer, invest in an air fryer. And you can do a lot of healthy eating too.
Casey's sponsored by Big Air Fryer.
Dude, yeah, I do. Straight to my bank account. They pay me for this ad. Take your apple pies or whatever those pies are, whatever filling they have in them, and stick them in that air fryer for
cream pie.
Yeah, stick your cream pie in there. And dude, like at 375 for probably 4 or 5 minutes, heat that bad boy up. And dude, let me tell you something, especially if you have some ice cream to put that bitch on. Oh, dude.
Pretty good, huh?
That's the only meal you can do all day because there's all your calories for the whole day.
You got to get protein, man. That's the, calories in, calories out, but protein. Up your protein.
That's why we said cream pie.
Yeah, cream.
There's protein.
Oh. Yeah.
You're the one that said it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where to go from there. I guess I was not expecting that. That's the biggest thing, man. Calories in, calories out, but protein is actually negative calories. I mean, it shows. It's calories, but it takes your body more to burn that protein than it does to eat it, or than it actually gets from it. So most guys overeat calories, but they undereat protein. And if you would add more protein, that's always the first step that I tell guys is add more protein. Whenever I'm helping someone, kind of coaching them, getting them back into health, is, hey, more protein. Just start there, add more protein to your diet consistently, whether that's shakes, whether that's more meat, because what's a typical blue collar lunch look like? It's like 2 sandwiches, 2 pieces of white bread each, a couple flimsy pieces of lunch meat with some cheese on it. And so a bag of chips.
That sounds good.
Yeah. But it's 15 grams of protein and 105 grams of carbs,
Meat pie.
Dude, yeah.
Meat, there's your protein.
Yeah.
The meat pies that you buy at the gas station.
Yeah, dude.
Those things are good.
I'll fuck up a meat pie.
Yeah, those are good, dude.
Yeah, dude. No, just up your protein. That's a big one. But anyways, all right, enough of that. We can get into the weeds on that all day long. But, just take it into your own hands, guys. That's why I do this shit.
James, good job on your marathon, by the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
Yep. That was me knocking on wood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. No more beating a dead horse. Do something hard today.
By God.